What is up? So, my previous reviews are so late, and the hype of this episode is so great, that it shattered the fourth wall. We will have to cover this episode first, and then we will get to the others as soon as we can. Thank you for your continued patience, and I apologize for the continued annoyance. Anyways, it is now 6:30 a.m. Easter Sunday, and I got stuff to do today, and should go to bed soon. Yeah, but we gotta get this review underway. So let us begin for another WulfF420 Supernatural review. This time, season 13. And I forgot the number of the episode. But the episode is entitled Scoobynatural. And it is completely dope. So let us begin on this wonderful voyage. Oh, one more thing. Happy Easter. And I now have the bunny ears, and I would like to introduce you to two friends of mine. This is my pet bunny, Carrot, and my pet doggy, Donnie Chopper. Chopper and Carrot. I know, it's not a reindeer, but screw it. Yeah, Donnie Chopper. That's why. His name's Donnie Chopper, not Toby. He's not a reindeer. He's a Doberman. That's why his name's Donnie Chopper. Anyways, let's get this review underway. So it starts off with Sam and Dean fighting a giant plush dinosaur. Well, I guess we hate him. He hates we. Let's team up and kill Barney. The Winchesters will blow that sucker up. Holy fire, now we're all covered in fluff. And after that, hilarious fight scene that looked like it was out of the Scooby-Doo movies. We have the store owner thanking Sam and Dean, and a shady character comes into the store that owns the neighborhood, and they're talking, and Sam and Dean get excused for a moment, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. Is it a cursed object, or what? And they don't know. So eventually, the store owner says to Sam and Dean that he'll give them anything they want. And Sam was about to say, that's not necessary, but Dean cuts him off and says, anything? So they cut away, and Sam and Dean are toting, I think, like a 64-inch television out of the store. And Sammy's like, really? And he kind of cracks a little bit of a laugh. but he's also annoyed. And eventually Dean takes over the lead. And so they cut back to the bunker. And Sam is staying down in the bunker trying to do research. Dean comes along and asks him what's going on, and they talk a little bit about cursed objects and how cursed objects don't usually attack people. They usually just cause havoc. But Dean says, never mind that for now. I want to show you something. And he takes him into a room, and he says, ta-da! The Dean Cave. Or the Fortress of Deanitude. I haven't decided yet. And I'm like, I'd say Dean Cave, dude. Being as I'm partial to Batman. But, whatever. It's your cave, and it's awesome. So Dean shows Sam around the cave. Points out all the different stuff that he's got so far, and that he's going to have a bar that's under construction. And lots of cool stuff. And then he's like, the piece de resistance. And he turns on the TV to show Sam. And, well, at some point, Sam asks also, how he finds time to do all this. And Dean says, when it's important, you make time. And that was funny. But now they turn on the TV, and a purple beam of light shoots from the television and pulls them both inside. And they look at each other, and they're like, you're a cartoon! I'm a cartoon! And they both talk in unison at the same time, and it was really awesome how they did that. And they could say that this is a case, or Dean, tells Sam that this is the case, we're going to work it like we always do. And Sam's like, how? And, they figure out that baby, or they see that baby was also transported into the TV with them. So they hop in the car, and Dean says, we drive. And they drive away. And they pull up to a malt shop. And Sam questions the fact that it's a malt shop. And Dean says, yeah, it's a malt shop. And they look out the window and see the mystery machine. And Dean's like, oh my god, freaking sweet, it's the mystery machine. And he's like, Sam's like, we're in Scooby-Doo. And then we cut away to the Supernatural Season 13 logo with a full animated portion. And it's got the little haunted mansion, and an SD comes up to the screen and turns into the Nephilim eyeball for the Season 13 logo. And that is what I walked out of. And it was awesome. And we continue on from there after these messages. You'll be seeing what pirates in Shinobi be doing all this time, which is absolutely nothing. And apparently, Meta has disappeared. So I happen to be having to take over the review. Pirates Wolf in the House. Kaisukori. Oriwanaru. And now I'll be breaking character. And becoming the meta. For the time being. And go. Okay. So we cut away to a scene after the logo of Sam and Dean walking into the malt shop. And then we see them. And then Dean sees them. And totally fanboys out at the sight of the Scooby Gang. And they're dancing in front of the jukebox. And Scooby-Doo is eating at the table. And Dean is completely excited. And Sam keeps making fun of him, kind of, for being so excited. And Sam is just dumbfounded by Dean's excitivity. And Dean, explains to him eventually that everywhere Dad dragged us, there's always a TV. And there's always been Scooby-Doo on. They're like our role models, dude. And, Sam just doesn't get the idea because all the ghosts that they hunt are fake. But, yeah. So, they go up and they meet the Scooby Gang. They're sitting at the table, and Sam and Dean ask if they can join them. And the Scooby Gang blinks, and it says, sure, the more the merrier. And they join up with Scooby Gang and they're talking about the mystery is an old man has died. Colonel Sanders has died and left his mansion to Scooby-Doo. Or, yeah, left an inheritance to Scooby-Doo. And they all have to go to the mansion. And eventually, Sam and Dean has to tag along because they're also mystery hunters and they're fans. And the Scooby Gang are like, sure. And then they get in their cars and the mystery machine beats baby. What the what the what? Okay. So the mystery machine beats baby. The Impala got beat by a microbus. And Dean freaks out. Also, as the cars are pulling away, we see the back of a trench coat clad dark figure following the cars. We would probably assume that it's Castiel, but maybe not. So we go on from there, and the cars pull up to the mansion, and Dean is just surprised that he lost to the mystery machine, and he hates Fred, and Sam's like, why do you hate Fred so much? And also, the whole time Dean is trying to score with Daphne. He even said dibs on Daphne. That's hilarious. So, Dean's like, oh, he thinks he's so cool with his can-do attitude and his little ascot. And you know what? Pirate Wolf probably could use an ascot, I think. And that's what we'll do. We'll take my bandana and we'll turn it around and hang it from my neck. And now, since I've broken character and became the meta, even though I'm Pirate Wolf, I'm now wearing the almighty ascot. So we cut back to Sam and Dean and Baby pulling up outside of the manor next to the mystery machine. And then, when Dean gets out, he looks at the manor and he yells out, "A night of fright is no delight!" And I'm like, sweet. That's interesting. Well, it turns out that is the name of the episode of Scooby-Doo that they are in. And Dean knows every episode by heart. And Sam keeps making fun of him throughout the night. And Dean and Sam continue on from there. They go into the manor with the will reading of Colonel Sanders. And Sam looks at Dean and Dean says, shut up. And they continue on with the will reading. And the will reading states if you can spend the night in this haunted house, you can receive a share of $1 million. And those who don't stay the night, well, their share will be given to the rest of the remainder. So you pick everybody off, and you take the whole $1 million yourself. Yeah. So it turns out Dean knows the episode by heart. He knows who the villain is, and he's just chilling with living in the Scooby-Doo world, and he's loving it. There was a scene in the restaurant previously where Scooby and Shaggy made the giant sandwiches, and Dean made his giant sandwich as well, and he opened his mouth really wide, giant, just like them, and he's like, Sammy, look at the size of my mouth. And I was like, you finally got a bigger mouth, Dean. That was funny. Well, he's chilling and he comes out in a nightgown. And Sam's like, a nightgown, really? And Dean's like, it's a night robe. And it's really comfortable, actually. And so he's eating, and Sam's like, "Is that all you're gonna do is eat?" And Dean's like, "Just relax. Here in a moment, Cousin Simple's gonna go missing, and it's gonna be we're gonna find out there's a mystery." And turns out he hears the scream of Cousin Simple. And when everybody arrives into Cousin Simple's room, Sam and Dean are looking at him, and Dean's like, "Wait, the dummy bodies don't show up until later in the episode." And Dean or Sam's like, "This is not a dummy, it's real." And we get a scene where Velma says "Jinkies," and Daphne says "Jeepers," and Freddy says something I forgot, and Shaggy says "Zoinks," and Scooby says "Ruh-roh," and then Dean says "Son of a bitch." It was perfect. I loved it. So we cut back to everybody standing around Cousin Simple's deceased corpse. And Freddy says, "Well, gang, looks like we have a mystery," and runs off. And Sam's like, "Fred, dude, really? Somebody's dead. Show a little respect." And Dean's like, "I know, right? He's such a jerk. Right, Daph?" And Daphne's like, "No, not really." So they wander off, and they're investigating the ghost. And they're talking about the ghost. And suddenly, the trench-coated, shadowy figure is creeping up to the window from outside. Well, Shaggy sees him and screams, and he starts coming in, and Freddy grabs him and tackles him and puts him on the ground. And then Dean tries to attack him. It turns out it's Castiel, just as I suspected when he first appeared. But everybody probably already suspected that. And if not, yeah, the shadowy figure, big reveal, was in fact Castiel. So we continue on from there. Cass is standing there. They're like, "You know him?" And they said yes, and they introduced him as Castiel. And Shaggy says, "Castiel, that sounds like an interesting Italian pizza place." And they have some moments, and Sam and Dean ask what happened to him. And Cass starts telling the story, and it cuts away to the bunker with Castiel walking in with the fruit from the Tree of Life. I think that's what it was. And he said there was a pack of gin, and he killed most of them and bargained with the rest. And he thinks he's technically married to their queen now. And Castiel sees Dean and Sam on the TV, and then the purple light sucks Cass in as well. And he's like, "The purple light sucked me in, and now I was in this strange world, and I saw you race off. I've been trying to catch up ever since." And Sam's like, "The purple light, that's just like with this giant stuffed dinosaur." And the Scooby Gang overheard talk about the giant stuffed dinosaur and question giant stuffed dinosaur. They're like, and Dean cuts him off, and he's like, "It's for a book we're writing, and it's titled." And then they all scamper, and Castiel says, "The giant stuffed dinosaur in love." And everybody's like, "That's a nice name." So Freddy decides that everybody should split up eventually. And Dean shakes his head, "No, that shouldn't happen." But Freddy decides everybody should split up. And he's like, "This is just a mystery to them." Eventually, Dean says to Sam that they're not to know whatever we do and anything about the truth. And they're like, and Sam's like, and Dean's like, "They're innocent and pure and good. I want to keep them that way." And Sam's like, "You just want to have more time to score with Daphne." Dean's like, "Do not ruin this for me." So anyways, they split up. Dean tries to go with Daphne, and Freddy's like, all right, we'll go together then. So Dean, disappointed, gets saddled with Fred and Daphne, and Velma suggests that her and Sam check the attic, and she makes fun of the broad-shouldered man being afraid of the attic, and he's like, no, and they go to the attic, and that leaves Castiel, and he's like, great, I led armies, now I'm stuck with a scrawny Philistine and a talking dog. Oh, right. When Castiel first appeared, it was hilarious because Shaggy introduces him and Scooby shakes his hand and says, nice to meet you. And Castiel's like, Sam, Dean, this dog is talking. And Dean's like, yep. That was funny. So they're split up. They're searching the manor. Eventually, the lights go dark and the ghost flies through a wall and, all kinds of stuff. They realize it's a real ghost. And, I've been at this for, 15 minutes of the video has passed up to when I started this. And 96 hours has passed since I originally started this. So 15 minutes and 96 hours later, I'm only on the first 15 minutes of the episode. Now I'm around the 20-minute mark and I've already missed stuff and mixed stuff. So you know what? It's time to just cut ahead and sum it all up pretty much. First off, was a great scene when they finally realize that the ghosts are real. Shaggy gets a broken arm. Everybody's having a nervous breakdown. Dean's freaking out because the Scooby Gang does not have nervous breakdowns. That was a great moment. It was funny. I thought it would have been even funnier if at that point when everybody's freaking out, Castiel would have said, I'm an angel, by the way. That would have been pretty funny. So, when they're like, how do we even fight this? We don't have any weapons. Well, that's when Dean shines. Out to baby they go. And they find, the weaponry. And the Scooby Gang wants to use the weapons too. And Dean tells them, no, that's a Scooby don't. So, he tells Freddy to do what he does best, to make a trap. And of course, the trap fails. And Castiel gets stuck into the trap with Scooby and Shaggy, as if he was the talking dog. Yeah. It was good. So eventually, they find out that the ghost was actually a little boy who was tied to a jackknife and didn't want to hurt anybody, but the bad man was making him. And it turns out that the little boy wants to be set free, so Sam and Dean can do that after they catch him. And then they have the little boy pretend to be the shady real estate developer, or butler, or whatever the fuck he was, at Colonel Sanders' mansion. And that is what happens there for the Scooby Gang. They are proven right, as they always were, and pretty much as the same storyline from their episode. And everything was set back in place. And then they get Sam and Dean Cass go back to the bunker and torch the jackknife and set the little boy free. And then Sam catches the shady real estate developer who held the boy prisoner. And Sam and Dean capture him with unpaid taxes, saying if it was good enough for Capone, it was good enough for him. And we tie it all up nice and neat in a little bow for Scoobynatural.
Supernatural Season 13, Episode 15, entitled Scoobynatural. It was a completely awesome episode. I loved it. Hilarious. Scooby-Doo. I'm a big fan of Scooby-Doo. So, it was dope. And that'll be another WulfF420's Supernatural review. And this will be Hired Wolf, who transformed into the Meta Wolf. And it's like, now each of us in the Wolf Den have the ability to transform at will into the Meta. Because, yeah, but we're still no match for Evil Meta. We don't even know Evil Meta exists. Because we gotta keep that quiet. Or he'll kill us. I'm not sure. I wonder if Dr. Smarty's head is in the box somewhere. But okay. So, always keep fighting. Everybody be excellent to each other. Have an awesome day. And as always, people, peace out. And we'll see you next time. Which, more time has passed. And I'm already late again. New episode was on yesterday. Great episode. Cannot wait. Get hyped. I don't know what to do yet, but something. So get hyped for the next one. And as always, leave your questions, comments, and concerns. Tell me what you like. Tell me if you want to see me like streamline these or somehow, or you want to give me some suggestions on how to streamline it a little better. That would help a lot. But, yeah, I got 2 episodes I'm behind on. But I had to do Scoobynatural right away. And I really have broke the 4th wall in this review. Yep, just like that. And that'll be, as I said already, WulfF420, Supernatural Season 13, Episode 15, entitled Scoobynatural. This will be another WulfF420 Supernatural review. And everybody always keep fighting. Have an awesome day. Be excellent to each other. And as always, people, peace out.